I'm Steve, and I've been married to my wife Peggy for 60 years. Before you click away or skip ahead, I need to tell you something. What I'm about to share with you, I wish someone had told me on my wedding day back in 1964. These aren't small things. These are the mistakes that almost destroyed my marriage. And if you're in a relationship or thinking about one, you need to hear this. When I say almost destroyed, I mean it. There were years where I honestly wasn't sure we'd make it to our next anniversary. And looking at us now, people see 60 years and assume we figured it out early, that it's been smooth sailing. We didn't. And it hasn't. I made mistakes that cost us time, closeness, things we can never get back. But we learned. Peggy and I, we learned the hard way. And that's why I'm here telling you this story. These 5 mistakes nearly cost me the best thing that ever happened to me. Don't let them cost you yours. Mistake number 1, keeping score of who does more. For the first 15 years of our marriage, I kept a mental list. I took out the trash. I mowed the lawn. I fixed things around the house. And every time Peggy asked me to help with something else, I'd think to myself, what about everything I already do? I never said it out loud, not directly. But she felt it. The resentment was there, sitting between us like a wall. What I didn't know, what I was too blind to see, was that Peggy was keeping her own list too. Years later, she told me, "Steve, I cooked every single meal. I raised our 3 kids. I managed their schedules, stayed up with them when they were sick. I cleaned, I organized, I remembered every birthday and anniversary for both our families." And she said something that cut right through me. When you'd come home and complain about being tired, I wanted to scream. But I didn't. I just added it to my list. My list of all the ways I was doing more, caring more, trying more. That poisoned us. Because marriage isn't a transaction. It's not about making sure everything's 50-50th down to the last dish washed or diaper changed. Some seasons, one person carries more. When I had that injury back in 1983 and couldn't work for 4 months, Peggy carried everything. She worked double shifts as a nurse, came home exhausted, took care of me, took care of the kids. I couldn't keep score then. I needed her too much. And when she went through her own health struggles years later, I did the same for her. But we wasted so many years before that, measuring, comparing, building resentment over who sacrificed more. The shift came when our oldest daughter said something to Peggy that she repeated to me later. Our daughter was maybe 30 at the time, having her own marriage troubles, and she asked, "Mom, do you and Dad even like each other?" When Peggy told me that, it hit me like a freight train. Because we loved each other. I truly believe we always did. But had we become so focused on fairness that we'd forgotten to be a team? Peggy stopped counting after that. Not overnight, but gradually. And I did too. We learned that keeping score doesn't make you equal. It makes you enemies living under the same roof. Mistake number 2, thinking you can change each other. Peggy is a planner. Always has been. She makes lists, she schedules everything, she needs to know what's happening 3 weeks from now. I'm not like that. I've always been more spontaneous, more go with the flow. And for years, decades really, we fought about this. She'd get frustrated that I wouldn't commit to plans, and I'd get frustrated that she couldn't just relax and be in the moment. I remember she used to say to me, "Why can't you just be more organized?" And I'd fire back, "Why can't you just loosen up?" We were trying to turn each other into different people. And it doesn't work. It just makes both people feel inadequate and misunderstood. Peggy told me years later, "Steve, I thought if I just explained it the right way, or if I got upset enough, you'd understand why planning mattered and you'd change. But I was asking you to be someone you're not." What finally changed things was accepting that Peggy's planning isn't a flaw. It's how she moves through the world. It gives her security, helps her feel in control of her life. And my spontaneity? It's not irresponsibility. It's how I find joy, how I experience life fully. We had to stop seeing our differences as problems to fix and start seeing them as things to work with. Now, Peggy plans our big trips, handles our finances, keeps our calendar organized. And I surprise her with small spontaneous things, little day trips, unexpected flowers, moments she didn't plan for. We complement each other instead of fighting each other. Here's what I learned: you didn't marry a project. You married a person. And that person isn't going to fundamentally change just because you want them to. The question isn't how do I change them? The question is how do we work together with who we actually are? Mistake number 3, not saying the difficult things until you explode. Peggy is guilty of this one. So guilty. And I didn't make it easy for her. She would let things build up. Small annoyances, small hurts. She wouldn't say anything because she didn't want to start a fight. She'd think, it's not worth it. Just let it go. But you can't let everything go. It doesn't actually go anywhere. It just piles up inside you until something tiny sets you off, and suddenly you're screaming about something that happened 6 months ago. I remember one time, must have been in the early 2000s. Peggy completely lost it because I forgot to pick up milk. Just milk. And suddenly she's yelling about how I never listen, how I always forget things, how she's tired of being the only one who cares about our household. And I'm standing there thinking, this is about milk. But it wasn't about milk. Peggy told me later, when we'd both calmed down, she said, "Steve, when you forget things I ask you to do, it makes me feel like you don't value my time. Like what I need doesn't matter to you." If she had told me that earlier, calmly, we could have talked about it. We could have figured out a system, set reminders, whatever we needed. Instead, she stayed quiet until she couldn't anymore. And then it came out as an attack. And that doesn't solve anything. It just creates more hurt on top of the original hurt. We learned to speak up earlier. Not aggressively, but honestly. This bothered me. Can we talk about it? It feels awkward at first. Uncomfortable. But it's so much better than the alternative. The difficult conversations don't have to be fights. They can be just conversations. Two people who love each other trying to understand each other better. I'm not perfect at this even now. Just last week I let something bother me for 3 days before I said anything. But at least now I know what I'm doing wrong. I can catch myself and course correct. Don't wait for the explosion. Have the conversation when it's still small, when you can still talk about it with love instead of anger. Mistake number 4, treating your marriage like it can run on autopilot. After about 25 years, Peggy and I fell into this routine. We knew each other so well. We'd been through so much together. And we just assumed the relationship would sustain itself. We stopped dating each other. We stopped really talking beyond logistics. Who's picking up groceries? What time is the dentist appointment? Did you pay the electric bill? We became roommates who occasionally slept together. And the scary thing is, it happened so gradually we didn't even notice. There was no single moment where we decided to stop trying. It just slowly faded. The romance, the curiosity about each other, the effort. We got comfortable. And comfortable became complacent. What woke us up was watching our friends get divorced after 38 years of marriage. Everyone was shocked because they seemed fine, seemed happy. But Peggy talked to the wife afterward, and she told Peggy, we weren't happy. We were fine. Just fine. Not connected, not miserable, just existing next to each other. And one day I realized I didn't want to spend my remaining years just existing. When Peggy told me that, it terrified me. Because I looked at our marriage and realized we were heading down that same path. We were fine. But fine isn't enough. Not for 60 years. Not for a lifetime. So we made changes. We started having dinner together at the table, not in front of the TV. We started asking each other real questions again. What are you thinking about? What's something that made you happy this week? We started going for walks together in the evenings. Just 20 minutes, but it was time that was ours. And we brought back date nights. Not fancy, but intentional. Sometimes it's just driving to get ice cream and sitting in the car talking. Sometimes it's playing cards at the kitchen table. But it's time where we focus on each other, on us, not on tasks or obligations. Peggy said to me recently, "Steve, we have to keep choosing each other. Not just once on our wedding day, but every day after." And she's right. Your marriage needs attention. It needs care. It won't thrive if you ignore it and assume it'll just keep going on its own momentum. Love is a verb. It's something you do, not just something you feel. Mistake number 5, forgetting that you're on the same team. This one's big. When Peggy and I would argue, especially in those middle years, it felt like we were opponents. Like we were each trying to win, to prove we were right and the other person was wrong. Every disagreement became a battle. And battles have winners and losers. But marriage doesn't work like that. If one person wins and one person loses, you both lose. Because you're supposed to be partners moving through life together, not competitors trying to defeat each other. I think the turning point for us was when our middle son, Daniel, was going through a really hard time. He'd lost his job, his marriage was falling apart, and he moved back in with us for a few months. He was 40 years old, and he was broken. Peggy and I had different ideas about how to support him. I thought tough love, push him to get back out there. Peggy thought he needed time, needed space to heal first. But we couldn't fight about it. This was our son, and he needed us united, not divided. So we talked. Really talked. We listened to each other. I heard why Peggy thought her approach was right, and she heard why I thought mine was. And we compromised. We created a plan together. Helping Daniel reminded us that we're a team. We're not Steve versus Peggy. We're Steve and Peggy together, facing whatever comes. Every problem, every decision, every challenge, we're supposed to tackle it together. Peggy said something to me during that time that I'll never forget. She said, "Steve, when we fight each other, we both lose. When we fight together, we can't be beaten." When you remember you're on the same team, arguments change. You stop trying to hurt each other with words. You start saying things like, "Help me understand your perspective," instead of "You're wrong." You start looking for solutions instead of looking for ways to prove your point. We disagree. Even now, after 60 years, we still disagree about things. But we disagree as teammates who want the same outcome, not as enemies trying to destroy each other. We're not perfect. Even now, after 60 years, Peggy and I still make mistakes. We still get frustrated with each other. I still forget things. She still overplans. We still have moments where we fall back into old patterns. But we know what we're doing now. We catch ourselves. We correct course. We choose each other every single day. If I could go back and tell my younger self anything, it would be these 5 things. Stop keeping score. Accept who she is, don't try to change her. Say the hard things before they become explosive. Never stop dating your wife. And remember, always, that you're on the same team. 60 years is a long time. Peggy and I have buried friends, raised children, survived losses, and celebrated victories. We've changed so much from who we were in 1964. But we've changed together. And that's made all the difference. If you're in a relationship right now, learn from my mistakes. Don't waste 20 years keeping score. Don't spend a decade trying to change someone who doesn't need to be changed. Don't let your marriage run on autopilot until you wake up one day and realize you're strangers. Do the work now. Have the conversations now. Choose each other now. Because I promise you, when you get to where I am, you won't regret the effort you put into your marriage. You'll only regret the effort you didn't put in. This channel is full of people like me sharing what we've learned from decades of living. If this meant something to you, subscribe and turn on notifications. Drop a comment and tell me which mistake resonated most with you. And actually, Peggy and I are planning to do a question and answer video soon. If there's anything you want to ask us, anything at all about marriage, life, mistakes we've made, doesn't matter what it is, leave it in the comments. We'd love to answer your questions. I'm not going to be here forever. None of us are. But while I am, I want to pass on what I know. Maybe it'll save you some of the pain Peggy and I went through. Maybe it'll help your relationship be stronger. Either way, I'm glad you listened.